Hi, John Wanoa here. We're in Otahu, and I'm just catching up from where we are after being away since the 4th of February 2017 with the Waitangi Day celebrations all the way through. We've visited Moai to open native courts, grand juries. So far we have 7 grand jury native courts open for business, stemming from Te Marae Grand Jury Court, Native Court, on the 6th of February 2017. The court officially opened inside Waitangi Marae, King's Bench Native Court, on the 15th of April 2016. That was the first court to open after Okiato Native Court in Kororareka, Russell, Bay of Islands. Now that's a British native court set up in Britain with Te Waikato Whara Here MANUKAU, the chief of Maungatautari Mountain in Cambridge, Waikato districts, or Tainui area, to Cambridge, England, where he went to learn English and to learn mortgage banking and land transactions and titles transfer from native to customary native title to British Crown Corporation titles under King William IV. So that's how that started. So at the present time I have gone through the process of transferring the native court from Waitangi Marae on Friday the 15th of April 2016 to Te Marae King's Bench Native Court beside the Pau Whenua or Popo or Taurangatira in the paddock at the southern end of Te Marae. Now the British Native Court in Okiato village that Captain James Reddy Clendon bought the land from Pomare to the chief at the time of 20th of March 1834. That court was opened with James Busby for business, commercial trading bank business, from that date on. That's 183 years to this month, the 20th of March 2017 is exactly 183 years of continuity of sovereignty, and also the self-governing of our native hapu chiefs. We call origins of Tahitian title of Moai statue memorial. So we have that far reached on the 6th of February 2017. We opened up the Te Marae, in this case in the paddock, in front of the Popo, the Marae King's Bench Native Court, British title of land transactions from Okiato Native Court. So now we have a legal entity or an authority of a chief, Te Waikato Whara Here MANUKAU there, and with Hongi Hika, chief that went to get the muskets in England, and that was at the same time 1830 that Te Waikato put the titles together in Cambridge for the Westminster government. So now we have the chief, Hongi Hika, from the Opori district of Ngāti Kuri and the Cook Islands of Aitutaki village in Te Hiku o Te Whenua, Hiku o Te Ika Marae, up in Te Hapua. We opened that court from Te Marae, the first grand jury native court to open for business, with Bundy, Waitai, and also Herewini Karaka. Two chiefs, and Manahi Parapara Mohini, the Justice of the Peace, working for the Crown Corporation on the Queen's side, and transferring the land to the King's Bench Court on this native court side. So I'm going through the induction of that marae. At the present time we're having difficulties with the administrators of the documents that have gone astray, and we have Paul Tipene from the Kerikeri police station looking into it for me. He's called me up today to check in, and just told him what I want. I want all the documents retrieved, and everything retrieved and back into my custody, and I'll be running that business myself, and I have administrators to take their place. I'm talking about Mike Diamond or Mike Main or other names he might have, and Dorothy Rollo, who we're replacing with new administrators right in front of me, where I can see them and see my documents. They both were responsible or liable to the British seals and Moai seals, seals of King William III and King William IV, and the St. Patrick's Church Order 8-point star, and our flag jurisdiction that's currently in force from Te Marae. So because they withheld the information from me, from my website, that they have changed into something else, then they are whole liable for what's missing, or liable to anyone else who's holding those documents. And it's a police matter now of a complaint against anyone holding any of these documents taken from my full computer website, and the computer itself, the hard disk in the computer, is all gone. And through Mike Main or Mike Diamond, who failed to disclose what he was doing with my files when Dion Paiko Walker, looking after me now in security and IT, asked him for his password when he gave his for TeamViewer that they're working on together. Both he and Dorothy Roller, working on that site, failed to disclose to Dion, who is in my confidence, now looking after that site and the security thereof, to recover all the documents out of their position and into his overview. At this present time, I have our managers in Scotland to look after this site for me, in confidence of what's gone out, that anyone who is being caught with any material will get a pound note on their head, £1 trillion note on anyone's head that is found to be in possession of these documents on my site. That's a warning to you, or anyone that's going to be receiving it in New Zealand or overseas. You're liable. You're liable because I've put the complaint into the police. I haven't finished with the matter yet. Till I get a hard disk, I told Paul Tipene, the constable in the Kerikeri police station, I'm the iwi liaison officer for Maori matters, and this is very serious. I told him it's serious. It's out of the jurisdiction of here in New Zealand. It's in the British jurisdiction of Admiralty, court-martial law, that they are liable for anything missing out of my files and in others' hands. It could have gone anywhere, but Mike Diamond will be under police surveillance from now on to answer to any questions about my site and the information that we're retrieving. I'm going to make sure that he accounts for 10 days on the company's laws, the company's laws of Britain, the company's laws of New Zealand, that he accounts for 10 days. He failed to give me a binded copy of a corrected spelling mistakes on my profile or my presentation of the proclamation, and also the writ warrant. That's my intellectual property itself, my information and patents. So the fact that the proclamation didn't come from me on that marae is in question now on its authenticity, because it was not stamped, and I've still yet to contact the marae, the Te Hiku o Te Ika Marae committee on issuing another writ warrant and proclamation from me, the author and the owner of all that information. So for Bundy, he still remains as the head of the grand jury, though the information that is inside those proclamations and writ warrants belongs to me. Everything was created by myself and no one else. So if there's any interpretation of it, must come under the titles of MANUKAU, land titles in Britain, UK, and any other titles belongs to the hapus of that marae can say what it wants. And if the marae thinks that's appropriate, that Hongi Hika is their chief, then whoever claims Hongi Hika and Tira Waikato Wharehere MANUKAU will have first right to the British inheritance of anything that's gone through Westminster, and otherwise they'll have only inheritance to the land itself here, and only that portion of land that they claim. As if it's like Bundy said, for the whole country, then he will have to furnish the proof of his claim into that marae where we would put it, and it's that marae's kawa and protocols that would matter, and not other maraes cannot come over the top of a marae. If it's Cook Islands marae, it's a Cook Islands protocol, and that's what I'm going on. Whether it's Bundy's marae or he's on the other Apodi maraes, then that protocol will be different again, where Ngāti Kuri is on either or either of the maraes. I'm talking about commercial titles on the land. When you look at the commercial titles on the land and its inherited value, then that's everything to do British and New Zealand government, one or the other. And the British will override the New Zealand titles. At the present time, Nikora, the Maori government, as a federal state, takes precedence over the New Zealand government and their laws. At the moment, we're putting those into place with Sue. I'm just about to ring her now to tell her where to from now, after meeting with her in Glasgow. We'll see how she is. 80. Nikora, President of the Maori government. No, that I have to try again. I don't think that's the number. Oh yes, looks like it.
Good morning. Hello.
Oh, is this Sue Nikora's place? I'm trying to ring Sue Nikora's place. I might have the wrong number.
I think you have.
8680951. Who's that number?
19.
0951.
Well, that's us.
Oh,
Who are you trying to get?
Sue Nikora, it's John Wanoa here. In Auckland.
Boy,
Eh?
who are you trying to get?
Sue Nikora in Gisborne.
Oh, Sue.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she had here about 2 years ago. She's over at, are you from Gisborne?
No, but I think if you got her number, it would be nice.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, I'll try another one. So you're,
In
eh?
the Komato flat.
Oh, you in the? Yeah, she's in the
She
Komato.
is.
Yeah, she's in the Komato flats.
Yeah, well, let them know.
Yeah, I know where she is. I'll just try another number. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
How did I get that wrong? I'm always getting numbers all mixed up. Okay. Try again. I'll try this. Oh no, 5 2s. 06 866 522 06 868 5223. Try that one.
Hello?
Hello, is that you, Sue?
Who?
Sue Nikora.
Yeah.
Oh, President. Okay. I wasn't too sure whether I had the right number. I had a bit of a guess.
Right.
Is John Wanoa here?
John.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good.
John. Yeah. Yeah. You've got back home?
Yeah, I got back all right. We went up Topiti Mountain to see the Queen, the Maori Queen, and it was a long walk up the hill right to the top. Our mate was so keen on climbing mountains, but we went up anyway, and we took some photos up there on the valley. Yeah. So.
That was a good visit.
Yeah.
Now, you just sit there and you listen.
Uh-huh.
Now, what is it that you require from the Maori government?
Okay. I look at it this way. The Maori government is if you're going to go president, is Admiralty. That's where I am at. I'm in the Admiralty in Britain at the moment, been promoting King William as the conqueror of all the lands in the world. That's only on paper. That's only the commercial side of all the money created. He did. He created all the money and how it's administered right through the world. And so here, if you're president, you're president of New Zealand land, as to the size of every other land that's been taken over by the king. It's still his land on paper, as being, if you were to take it over and get out of the king's reign over it, then you'll be out floating on your own without the protection of the British military and the navy, which is what this Admiralty is all about. And they would want to know if you want to trade with Britain or somewhere else, or Russia or somewhere else, then that has to be undone, because the British still have title over this place, not the Russians or anybody else. That's why they can't come in here without going through Britain. And America is owned by Britain as well, where the problem is with the Queen is having a problem now, trying to hold on to her titles as monarch on behalf of King William. She didn't make the Admiralty, she only administers all his wealth. And I'm going after all his wealth in the world, and including here, of the portion of that reign that he's still there as the king, the last king on earth, and still there by default. He's still there, so I've been talking for him, and not the Queen, and not for anybody else. And I've stuck to my guns with it, so anybody using Admiralty has to go through that flag and back to that Westminster in order to trade with them. Otherwise it becomes a conflict of interest, the same as what the Queen is, conflict of interest against that flag and us, the chiefs that got their names on that list. Only the surnames would nobody else. It'll only be 38 chiefs, and you must be a surname connection to it in the indigenous part to make it work. And that's why I've been separating everybody from Maori who their names are not real, and picking the real names to go back to Britain because they've got a copy of the real surnames to make a claim to all his wealth. So if you're president, that's fine, but I'm saying that I'm taking over the whole world with that hole that's left there now with the Queen gone. I've jumped into it in Britain as a first claim of a contract. Everything is contract in Admiralty, and if you've got a contract, then it'll show. Otherwise, most people haven't got a contract. I'm holding on to the contract of Moai MANUKAU's and the Waikato, Tira Waikato Wharehere MANUKAU's title, that nobody else has got that connection into that wealth in Britain. And Hongi Hika, which is got no memorial that hidden it, up in that marae we went up to open up in Te Hapua, Te Hikua Ika Marae. So nobody else in this country has any claim to Queen Victoria's trust, only King Taurua being on the King Edward side. So I'm taking his claim. It's already lodged in Westminster, ready to take over that lot and the King's inheritance right through the whole world. Like I was saying, New Zealand is only 1/1400th of 1% of the total population of the world, where the money's supposed to go to all those 7 billion people, and the mass of the land area as to the rest of the world where the Commonwealth has covered, and our trust has gone to the Queen Victoria Trust. So nobody's got any proof of being part of the Queen Victoria Trust. That's why nobody's been able to get anything of it. It's always stayed with the elite families, the Rothschilds and the Vatican and the Queen herself and the royal families. I'm having a go at, and I'm doing all right so far. So I'm overarching all the titles here on the land because of the money that's involved and all the people who are stuck to the land and buying land left, right and centre. You can get rid of them off the land, that's fine, but they'll stick to their guns and shoot anybody out that tries to take them out with the Admiralty. They have the Admiralty of Queen Elizabeth through the American US Navy that'll swoop in here at any time now. They're already hanging around. I see the plane flying around East Coast. Twice I saw it in Gisborne, flying low along the seabed, and at Cape Runaway saw it again, going around, flying 500 metres off the ground. They're ready to take over with the New World Order, and I'm trying to stop them all by myself. That's my thing. The only thing I wanted to do here with you is that now that you call yourself a president, then that comes under the Admiralty to take the land back, and you'll have more chance of getting it back that way than trying to go through the government, because it'll leave them out. It'll leave the government out and go on your own if you go president. As a Prime Minister will have to go through the normal court system, where the president is more or less the Queen is going under President Donald Trump. She controls Donald Trump. She controls all the presidents because she owns the federal state government. And I put up a Moai crown, King William IV federal state government right over the world, and they're more than likely recognise that with the seals I'm using on the documents I've put out in the writ warrant. The police rang me up today to tell me that they're trying to resolve where my computer stuff is gone, and I just told them it's serious because there's British seals on it. They were in trouble. Yeah. So that's what I want to say, Sue. I I wanted to have a meeting with you at some stage because I want to take that Rotten Point motel. There's nothing to stop me from taking it with the writ warrant and without anybody else involved, because it'll just go straight in. But I wanted to link that to your government, because if I get the money, I've got to dish it out. I've got to dish it out to all the world, and including you and your government. If I get one property, the whole world will drop, as a house of cards will drop on one land title. It's the same Queen's 66 million acres will drop and back into the King's bench in Westminster. Yeah, something like that. But it's I just wanted to let you know so that I'll just go along with what you're doing, and we go with it together. If I get the money before you, then that money will come out and go straight into your government, and there's no skin off my nose to write the pound note out, because I'll be writing it out to all over the world in 250 countries that the flag is already in now on my website. And that's why these guys pinched it, because they're trying to run the thing, thinking that I can't run it on my own. I told the police I'm going to run it on my own. That's what I was doing before. With a mobile phone, I'll run the whole lot by myself without anybody. So that's what I want to do. If I get Lotton Point Motel, I just use that for an office for the whole eastern area, and have to get onto that plane that's flying around, because they're setting off some sort of thing in the water to trigger the whole place off right around the country, and it's not looking good with that going on. But we have the money to do anything if I get Cook Street or the motel, and I just go along with you and set up with you, so that the federal bit stays with you. You're the federal of this country. No, I got no problems with that. You have a federal state over the government in Wellington, straight off, being separate from them, as if you're the Queen's federal state government of America or anywhere else. Yeah, that's how that works too. And I'm obligated to pay out on that part of what I do with Britain. I'm making Britain pay out with the Navy to go and look for all that stolen wealth that is ours in those trusts that they're keeping for themselves if we don't do anything. We are the recipient with that flag of that wealth, the whole of the wealth. So best if I have a meeting at when I'm going to put all the legal documents together to seize that Lotton Point Motel, and it's because you've got the history for the Urupas and any piece of land in this country for that matter, and that you have that proof to say it belongs to the hapu. And all I do is the transactions of land, being real estate, of land back to the customer and take the mortgage out. That's what I'm going to do, and build them at the same time. But if you have any inkling of getting rid of the government, I got no problem. You can get rid of them anytime you want to.
How do those people up north, how do they, what are they doing?
Oh, they've got this little toy now with a native court, and they're still getting their head around it. And those ones that I've given a writ warrant to is probably know what that means now, to seize back lands. But if they do it all wrong, then that's the problem I have with them. But they're having a go at it, and Bundy as well. Bundy's jumped ahead of me and said he's got a title right around the whole country. He has to prove that he has a title through Ngāti Kuri, saying Ngāti Kuri is got a claim of the title around the whole country. That's what their treaty claim to what they put in. That's been rejected, with Selwyn Clark putting a title of the 200 mile zone around the country. That's just saying, oh, we were here first. And
are they cooperating with you?
Yeah, in a way, but they've gone ahead of me, and they've made the proclamation out of my proclamation themselves, and they made a writ warrant themselves and not mine. They've actually copied mine, and away they went without me.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying
How
to
did you feel about that?
Eh?
How did you feel about that?
No good. I just told Money, no, you're not stamping that lot. I said, no, I'm squashing the whole lot and start again. only because my stuff got stolen and they were presenting it themselves.
Terrible, eh?
And Paul Tiepene, he's the iwi liaison Maori officer up there, the police officer. He just rang me up this morning, and I told him that it's a serious matter. There's the British SEALs on there, and those two administrators gone against the British SEALs on that document and went off ahead and jeopardised the company itself. I got the company is registered in London. And they've gone again because that's the company I made them administrators of all that, the whole world. And they just took it lightly as being, she'll be right, it's only John. But actually it's not. I said to the police, no, it's serious. They have exposed me to the world, to all the enemies with all that stuff.
Why didn't they come under or with Kiki?
Well, they don't like him. They kicked them out so they can take over the taumata and do what they want. And that's what's happened. I said to King, no, your name is on these documents. It's already gone with the mistakes and all in it. And I said, I don't care about the mistakes. The King can make mistakes on his paper. It doesn't matter. You know, because you fellas just can't refute it. You've got no evidence to come up against it. That's why you can't say anything. So now that you've got it, you think you can just pick it up and go and run with it.
You just sit there and wait. But that other lot, eh?
Yeah, so that's what I said to the policeman. I said, they got a problem because they don't know how to run this thing without any substantial evidence of them.
Administration.
Anybody can say they've got a title right around the country, but they've got no proof as much as you have of how that works. And any government for that matter. They haven't even got that either. And I said to the policeman, they're just going on hearsay on somebody else's information. You know, they picked my information up and dare I say it, yours, and mentioned your name about a Maori government in his presentation to that marae up there. And I don't think that's his real marae. He's on another one on the other side with Ngāti Kuri. This was a Cook Island marae, right? Everything in it is Cook Island. It doesn't say anything about the other Maoris. That's the one that Hongi Hika it comes out of this one. That's why the British hid him and said, don't let anybody see his memorial, so they don't have to, they can't target him. See, so that's left Bundy and all the rest of them out. They can't prove that they have title to that inheritance in Britain, all that wealth. They got nothing to go on. So
you see, the thing is, they're just going under their own.
Yeah, their own. Yeah, it only goes just around the paddock. Yeah,
no affiliation with anyone else.
No, it just goes around the paddock up there, and that's about it. It just goes around the paddock up there, and that's about all. Yeah. It can't get out its feet out into the water and go overseas or anywhere. It can't even go down to Tainui because they'll say, "Go home, little boy," and stay in your little corner up there. Don't come down here and say anything.
And you can't talk to them, eh?
Oh, I can, but they want to ring me up and say, "John, come here, we need you to sign something so that we can run off with it." Now that's the next hui that was going to be. Come up, John, and sign these documents so that we can get on and leave you behind.
Well, don't be a fool, mate.
No, I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool. I'm now sitting down at home and I can look at what went on and make my mind out who I'm going to sack.
Now, I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
Now, do I have to promulgate an invoice for you?
Yeah, you have to put this is what I'm telling them. You have to do an inventory of what's missing or what's broken or what's desecrated or what's in an area at a time. You can go the whole Tairāwhiti area for a start. You can just pick a block area and go for that a chip a bit off at a time, which is like what I'm doing. I'm just putting a claim on the bits I want for now. And but I leave all the rest to you because I've got enough of a job making the bank work. I'm responsible to make the.
Well. You listen carefully.
Mm-hmm.
I can give an invoice for 5 million acres of lands.
Yeah. So if you got something like that, I know you'll have the evidence to say so. Then that constitutes an invoice or a levy debt, that's what you call it. A levy debtor against the person responsible. There's always a CEO of a company, and it can take one CEO at a time because he's one with the checkbook. There's no use going to the government. You go to the CEO of the company like Darunanga, the CEO of Darunanga of Ngāti Pro, and give him the bill, right?
No, they're illegal, right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. You've established that, but the thing is, who's going to pay? That's what I say. Before you dump them, you give them a bill and build them, then kick them. There's plenty of time to build everybody one by one.
No, they've just stolen my $132 million.
Yeah, so you have to go the person who's holding onto that money and is about to cash it. That person is going to cash it instead of you. That's the person you have to write the bill up to, and put it through your Maori government and your federal state part of the Maori government. And then all I am is a middle bank in Britain, the Moai powerhouse bank that was set up over there already, to cash up the pound notes that I've got online. And once I make one pound note work, it becomes legal right through the whole world. And so I can write it out to any country in the world. I'm just doing Canada at the moment, Saskatchewan tribe up there in Dakota. I've just got them on Skype tomorrow, and they're all their tribes leaders. I'll be talking to them about the native title and the flag over there as well. So I'm they've already bought the flag, so they're just waiting for me to come online and do that. I'll do that one at the same time. They'll get their land back.
So you're coming around again, or where are we going to meet about this other thing?
Oh no, that's I can do it. I've got to do the documents first, and all it meant was I was going to go down. I've got to notify the government, the Maori Land Court, to dissolve their title on that land block to go on to it. I'll take the title off. And normally you transfer the title out of their name into another name. So I'm just taking the title back off into the King's Bench Court. So the King's Bench Court will seize it off the Queen's Bench Court. It has to be done in a court to reverse their titles, take their title name off. Like Jim Wickout has got a big building, old refugee place, and it's quite huge with rooms and everything, and boardrooms and everything. So he's occupied, he's got the land physically now. Now he has Jim Wickout. He's in Aotea. So I told him, get all the CTs, the certificate of titles there, and I'll do those. As soon as I change those out, then it becomes back to customary title, and you can't sell it anymore. And then that'll kick off the rest of the lands the same way. He's in possession of the land of the government, the Crown now, and he's going to hold on to it before he takes all the other housing courthouses there. So he's got that far, and he's on the Ha block.
Now, how much longer are you promoting this whole thing?
I finished promoting. I'm just ready to seize any piece of land right around the world now, right now, and in Canada at the same time. Seize the lands over there through those chiefs. So I'm going to do. I'll do it in any of the countries in the world, straight from here, with those documents I've got, and. Over here, I can take Cook Street because I've got enough of those 7 maraes now that I've made into native courts behind me instead of before I was on my own. But the police will stand out of the way now. They've lost their case in Cook Street already. They'll lose this one again if they get in the road. So they're the only ones that were stopping me, but not anymore. So that only leaves me to do the legal bits, to warn them again to off the property and to vacate, otherwise I can use the police to go and get them out. It's to be done yet. I've got to do that part yet. If I can do one successfully, then Jim's was looking better because he's already in the building and he's not going to leave it. He's not about to leave it either.
The designation.
Eh?
The designation of the lands would be under state council?
At the present time, they're in the Crown Corporation, the Queen's got a head all over the whole world. All the land titles are the same. In America, it's the same as here. So whatever land is, you're challenging that, the whole lot, not only just here in New Zealand. The Queen's head is in all those Commonwealth countries, and they've got their sharpshooters out for anybody, and they're not going to give it up in a hurry. of any bit of land that they've got interest in, that they've got their people working on it. So I'm about to head off into that again with all those people looking at what I'm doing online. I put it online what I do, and warn them that I'm going to take the land. Then everybody in the world knows, because they're waiting for this as well. Do one, they're all the same. No matter where it is. So here, it's no different than getting Jim's property, because it's the same crown all over the world. And all I'm doing is flicking it from the Queen into the King's Bench Court in the same court, and taking the title out of one into the other. Yeah, that's all I'm doing, the transaction part. Whereas if you're a government, you have more chance of taking the whole lot out. If you took the government out here, then they say you'll have to wear all their bills. Then you'll have to put a bill to that bill to cancel it, right? You have to diffuse everything with an invoice on the damages, that they will owe you more than you owe them. So for every bill they give you, you give a counter bill. That's what I've been doing all along, is counter and park it up and keep on going to the next one, and park it up and carry on the next one, and so on. So I can pull them up at any time and go them. I've got the MANUKAU land company in Scotland that MANUKAU's title. It covers the whole land with that Scottish. The Scottish put all the titles right through the whole world on that title, on the MANUKAU title. Native court. That was in 1830. This Tita Waikato Wharahere MANUKAU put that together in Cambridge, England. Nobody knew that. But now I'm just letting everybody know that's where all the native countries in the world got their title from. That MANUKAU chief, the chief from here. So it just means one chief, one title, and the rest falls over when they can't.
Just fall in place.
Yeah, it'll fall in place. So all you'll do is carry on governing, but you should have no trouble getting finance from anywhere, because they'll trust you as the original owners. You just need a due, because you need a government for a start, a prime minister or president to run the country, and the other one's at fault. If you can prove the other government was at fault and it was fraudulent, which it is, then there was another thing to prove it. But I'm saying, I'm just taking them out with a pound note and saying, right, you're fraud, here's your photo there, you said nothing, so we're going to take it back. So that's your job to take it back, not mine. I just stick to the bank. I'll get the bank going with Jamie. We've got our head on the pound notes, and everybody knows.
What's the name of the bank? What's the name of the bank?
Moai Powerhouse Bank. Moai Powerhouse Bank. And the company's Moai Powerhouse Group Limited in London. That's registered there, over there. The company's registered there, and the bank. So all I do is make £1 goes, and it's in the trillions, straight off. A 970 million trillion pound note. That'll kick in that bank as soon as I cash one up here or anywhere. It doesn't matter. Then I can draw off that straight off. With what we claim as our flag, that gave them all that wealth is our flag. Our flag gave them all that wealth, and they didn't tell anybody. It's a bank's flag.
Oh, big job, mate.
Yeah, no, it's all done now. I've finished the whole. I've finished it all. It's all finished. All I have to do is open the bank and start dishing out the pound note.
Yeah.
But,
Very good.
But that's all I wanted to do. I'll put all the legal documents together, and you'll have some sort of thing, and I'm expected to pay out, once I pay the pound note out to anybody who's got a claim, then I file the claim back off to England, for the Navy. That's our partner is the Navy, captain there, and so they're obligated to go after the money. That's in the big lots, but we have enough to live off and to run things. And yeah, that's how it works. I just rang you to let you know how the federal part works of your new title, President. That's how that's three governments. There's three governments: federal, state government, the Commonwealth government, and the state government. The federal government is owned by the Queen, right? Everything that's federal is owned by the Queen. The Commonwealth government is owned by all the elite people that are gathered around the Queen. And
the federal, of course. The federal part of it was through the Admiralty.
Yeah, the Admiralty of the Vice Admiral, which is the Prince Philip. He's a Vice Admiral, Commander-in-Chief, or Commander-in-Chief. And the President of the United States is a Commander-in-Chief. That means they are acting in the place of a king. And our flag is the Admiral, is the real Admiral. And so that's acting as Admiral, Captain on a ship that can say anything. That's why the Ngāpui are starting to believe that I'm just there as a captain on that ship up there in Waitangi Treaty Grounds. We opened that marae, we went in it and opened it up with Kingi on the 15th of April last year. The government let us go in, but they didn't realise I was going in there to open it up as a King's Bench court. It was too late. I already opened it up. And then I've gone from Kororareka back into Waitangi marae and then back over to Titi marae in that order to make it work. You had to go back because they went through stages to get where they are now with the flag. They're still using the flag to make money out of it. So that was that part of the 1834 was the declaration of war flag. They used that war flag to take the governments of other countries. With the federal government, the Queen of the federal government can seize any country, the whole thing, and reissue its title back through the Queen.
Now, you still have to go to Westminster.
Yeah. Eventually I have to.
Hoping.
No. I get the money from Cook Street or one of these other properties. I just get an overdraft. I just get an overdraft on whatever I can make from the property. I can't sell the property anymore because there's no mortgage on it. So I just use the tenants to pay the overdraft, and that'll get the first one going. Then from then on, it's just recover all the debt from all the crooks. In the Cook Street, there's 42 crooks that I'll go and bankrupt Bailey's Real Estate. I bankrupt that whole company and take it over. Right? That's just one. Then bankrupt the Reywats that sold the Lotton Point Motel. That's another. I bankrupt the whole thing with this writ warrant I got. The King's Admiral. Admiral is if I'm a federal state, they'll take over the whole country. So here, your federal state government can do likewise for New Zealand, but not any other country. Only for New Zealand, it can seize anything back into the.
We're quite happy about that.
Yeah, so I'm just telling you, that's the power of a president over a prime minister. It's only a stately thing, and it's subjected to the state laws. But in the federal, it's just Queen's law or King's law, right? Just to let you know, it's exclusive. It's exclusive outside of state law. State laws are between countries, states, and that's a different jurisdiction again. The jurisdiction of a federal, it goes straight to Westminster. So that means you have a straight line to Westminster and miss out the middleman. All the Crown agents go. You sack the whole lot. Yeah.
So it should take about 3 months, eh?
Oh, less than that. Less than that. Just the paperwork to do. I've finished all my I've got nothing else to do now other than cash up one land block and open the bank up. In Britain, because they want their cut out of it too. They're only getting 10%, we're getting 90%. That's the rule. If we could recover money through our flag is the only King's flag in the world, then they're only going to get 10% for not telling us how they crooked us and everybody else. Because there's no monarch in the throne on paper. There's no monarch. It's empty. The Queen's gone into Brussels now and looking after their own private business. And they're still using this flag as long as they've got Waitangi marae and that monument up next to Titi. She can do what she likes and screw the whole world. And you take that off her and say to Kingi, seize the ship on the other side of Waitangi marae and seize Waitangi marae because that's their court. That's where they do all their business. The Queen's business in the world is in that Waitangi marae, and the Maori don't know that. Yeah. So I've taken all that lot over and stuck it into the paddock of Titi by the popos, and that'll kill them. That native court will kill them because they didn't think we were going to catch them out. But that's all I have to do is let you know, and then I just draft up the documents for one for Cook Street, and I'm just going to do Cook Street again and go in again with the writ warrant. Yeah, and the motel, so I can have office there, and stay there and put Jamie and a family in there, or somebody to because she's working on the thing, and what's his name, Dion, that music fella. He's very good. He can look after things as well, so I can get going. That's all my job, Sue, is the bank. That's all I'm interested in, the bank and the transactions between here and taking the titles back to customary so they can't borrow again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, John.
You're the president, and that's all there is.
Thanks, Marie.
So I'll let you know as soon as I get the documents together. It might take me a week to go, and I'll be back down there. I'm trying to get it done by the 20th of March, because that's the anniversary of the first British title in Kororareka was the 20th of March, 1834.
Excellent.
Okay? I'll try to time it for them. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, then.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
There. That's the president of the Maori government. Just for your sake, I'm just talking to Sue Nikora. She was a Maori Prime Minister before of the Maori government, but she's the most proficient dignitary there is in all of Maoridom. She's the most proficient professor in Harvard. She went to Harvard, and also she put together, Kingi Taurua went there too. So they know a thing or two. And she put the Maori policies together for the 1986 Constitution, and she can undo them. Okay? She knows the Urupā at Lotton Point Motel. I've got the pictures of all the Urupās around Hicks Bay, right around the East Cape, where there's properties built and they'll be pulled down, and including the motel at Lotton Point will be pulled down, and it's full of pora anyway, and that's the last count that we had on this assessment, why no one wanted to buy it. it's in disrepair, although it looks nice, but I'm going to make this announcement now, that I'm going to issue a writ warrant to seize that property off the current landowners who've just bought it, and they'll have to give it up and shift out, because that property is under investigation for a long period of time, and the government and the LINZ and also the landowners have been ignoring my warnings that we are going to seize it with British title. These are British titles we have. We're applying the King William III and King William IV Acts of Westminster Parliament. We have the right